Good evening, everyone. Notice of this meeting stated the date, place, and time has been disseminated as required under the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, PL 1975. Copies of the agenda are also posted on the city's website and Linden TV for the public. This meeting is now called to order. Mr. Clerk, can you please conduct a prayer and flag salute?
God of the universe, look thou with favor upon these here assembled, and bestow thy guidance upon the members of the governing body in their deliberations. This we ask in thy name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In the event of an emergency, the proper method of exiting council chambers is through the three doors in the rear of the room. Occupants should proceed down the staircase, out the front door, and move away from the area of the front steps. Any member of the public wishing to speak during the public comment session at the end of the meeting, please sign in on the white sheets provided at the front of the room with your name and address. Please turn off all cell phones or place them on vibrate. If you must take a call, please leave the council chambers to do so. Mr. Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Mrs. Ormond.
Here.
Javik.
Present.
Caldwell. Yes. Mohammed.
Excused.
Rivas.
Here.
Roman.
Excused.
Strano.
Here.
Blaine. Here. Medina.
Here.
Hudak.
Here.
Mrs. Yamikaitis.
Here. Okay, we're going to start off with a presentation this evening, recognizing the service of Councilman Garnett Blaine of the 8th Ward. Okay, Mayor and Councilman Blaine, can you please join us down on the floor?
They're doing a presentation to Garnett down front. All right, that's why it's quiet. All right, I'm putting you back on speaker.
We have a resolution here honoring our 8th Ward Councilman Garnett Blaine for his dedicated service as councilman of the 8th Ward. Tonight is his last meeting, so we'd like to wish you the best, Garnett, and honor you with this resolution. Whereas Councilman Garnett Blaine will be concluding his 4th year of service as councilman of the 8th Ward on December 31st, 2023, and whereas Garnett Blaine was first elected councilman of the 8th Ward on November 8th, 2019, and began his service to the residents of the 8th Ward and the city of Linden on November 12th, 2019, and whereas Garnett has served on numerous councilmanic committees, including Budget Review and Finance, Real Estate, Revenue Enhancement and Development, Accident Review, and Public Property and Community Services, and has chaired various committees, including Parks and Recreations, and Negotiations and Labor Relations. And whereas his dedication and commitment has benefited the citizens of the 8th Ward and those of the city of Linden in many ways, he has contributed to the efficiency in the operations of Linden government and to improving the quality of life for all Linden residents. And whereas Councilman Blaine has discharged his duties with great diligence, compassion, diplomacy, and faithful dedication to the residents of the 8th Ward and all of Linden. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Mayor and the Council of the City of Linden that Councilman Garnett Blaine be and hereby is thanked and congratulated for his years of distinguished public service to the City of Linden, and be it further resolved that this resolution be entered into the minutes of the Council of the City of Linden, and that a copy be presented to 8th Ward Councilman Garnett Blaine in recognition of the foregoing, and is signed by me as President of the Council and Mayor Derek Armstead.
call you back in 2 minutes from the other system.
Before we take a picture, I just want to say one thing. If you look at that resolution, one operative word was all. It says all of Linden. I first met Garnett many, many years ago when we were involved in the Pop Warner football program. And the program was basically failing, and people like Garnett stepped up to the plate and put his time and energy into the program to make sure that it succeeded. So I want to thank him for that. And again, being a councilman, it's a lot more than people think. You give your time, you give your energy, you take away from your family, but most importantly is that you're giving back yourself to your community. And I want to thank him for that personally. He can, just because he's not going to be the councilman, doesn't mean he's going to stop being a part of our community and helping out and doing what needs to be done to make our city a better place to live. And I once again thank him for all his dedication prior to being a councilman. Because a lot of times people just think that you're up here as a councilman, but we have our whole lives and things that we've done prior to being a councilman. And one of the things that he did was give back to our children. And I can't begin to tell you that Pop Warner football program, how important it is to our community. We had upwards of 200 kids out there between cheer and football at one time. And we always say that when you have these kids in one location, they can't be getting in trouble because you have them harnessed right in one location doing good things and positive things. So I thank him for that, because he'll tell you that was a struggle back then, wasn't it? Whew. We were dealing with some things, and let me tell you, and men like himself, we stepped up to the plate and got it done. As we said, we got the ball in the end zone. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. So not to take away from my last speech that I'll make momentarily, but it's very important that we all stay engaged in our community. Before I became a councilman, as the mayor said, I spent 11 years volunteering my time, my energy, and all that I had given to the kids. And one of the things that everyone should know is that effort brought back the luster of Linden when we brought the state championship home, Linden High School, at the Meadowlands in New Jersey. We beat Elizabeth for the state championship a couple of years back. So the hard work pays off. And those of you who think I'm going away, you're sadly mistaken. I ain't died. I'm still here. God is still giving me breath, so as long as I'm in this community, know that I'll be a citizen, a very helpful person. I never changed. I never wavered. I'm still the same person, so you can always count on me. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
We'll move back to the agenda now. We're going to move on to ordinances on hearings. Okay, starting with ordinance 6713. It was tabled at the April meeting. It remains on the table. Okay, we'll start this evening with ordinance 6774.
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 2, General Administration of an ordinance entitled, An Ordinance Adopting and Enacting the Revised General Ordinances of the City of Linden, 1999, passed November 23, 1999, and approved November 24, 1999, and as amended and supplemented. Be it ordained by the Council of the City of Linden, Section 1, that Chapter 2, Administration, Section 2-69.8, Fees for Marriage and Civil Union Ceremonies performed by the Mayor be amended as follows. Delete Section 2-69.8 in its entirety and add new Section 2-69.8.
Okay, Has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, ma'am.
Has any written communication been received?
No, ma'am.
Is there anyone from the public who wishes to be heard on this ordinance? Seeing none, can we have a motion, please?
Yes, Council President, I'd like to make a motion that we close the hearing on ordinance 67-74, adopted, and ask for a second, please.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
yes,
Rivas?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hudak?
yes,
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Okay, ordinance 6775, please.
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 29, Land Development, of an ordinance entitled, An Ordinance Adopting and Enacting the Revised General Ordinances of the City of Linden, 1999, passed November 23, 1999, and approved November 24, 1999, and as amended and supplemented. Be it ordained by the Council of the City of Linden, Section 1, that Chapter 29, Land Development, Section 29-5.8, Schedule of Fees, shall be, and the same is hereby amended as follows. Amend Section 29-5.8, Schedule of Fees, 19-5, and amend 19-5.8, Schedule of Fees.
Okay, has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, ma'am.
Has any written communication been received?
No, ma'am.
Is there anyone from the public who wishes to be heard on this ordinance? Seeing none, can we have a motion, please?
Council President, I'd like to move that we close the hearing on ordinance 6775, adopted, and ask for a second, please.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
yes,
Rivas?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hudak?
yes,
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Ordinance 6776, please.
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 7, Traffic, of an ordinance entitled, An Ordinance Adopting and Enacting the Revised General Ordinances of the City of Linden, 1999, passed November 23, 1999, and approved November 24, 1999, and as amended and supplemented. Be it ordained by the Council of the City of Linden, Section 1, that Chapter 7 shall be, and the same is hereby amended as follows. Add new Section 7-49, Linden Logistics Center.
Okay, has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, ma'am.
Has any written communication been received?
No, ma'am.
Is there anyone from the public who wishes to be heard on this ordinance? Seeing none, can we have a motion, please?
Yes, thank you, Council President. I'd like to make a motion to close the hearing on the ordinance 6776, adopted, and ask for a second, please.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
yes,
Rivas?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hudak?
yes,
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Ordinance 6777.
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 27, Special Improvement District, of an ordinance entitled, An Ordinance Adopting and Enacting the Revised General Ordinances of the City of Linden, 1999, passed November 23, 1999, and approved November 24, 1999, and as amended and supplemented. Be it ordained by the Council of the City of Linden, Section 1, that Chapter 27, Section 27-7.2 shall be, in the same is hereby amended as follows. Delete Section 7-7.2B in its entirety, add new Section 27-7.2B.
Okay, has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, ma'am.
Has any written communication been received?
No, ma'am.
Is there anyone from the public who wishes to be heard on this ordinance?
Good evening, Ed Kaminsky. Just want to know what these sections refer to specifically?
So there was a member of the LEDC that had been added to the SID, but his term on the SID end wasn't defined, and it's defining the term to be concurrent with his term as a member of the LEDC.
Okay, is there anyone else from the public who wishes to be heard on this ordinance? Okay, seeing none, can we have a motion, please?
Yes, Council President. I move to close the public hearing of ordinance number 6777. Move for approval and request a second. Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
yes,
Rivas?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hudak? Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Ordinance 6778, please.
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 3, Police Regulations of an ordinance entitled, "An Ordinance Adopting and Enacting the Revised General Ordinances of the City of Linden, 1999, passed November 23rd, 1999, and approved November 24th, 1999, and is amended and supplemented. Be it ordained by the Council of the City of Linden, Section 1, that Chapter 3, Police Regulations, Section 3-2, Noise, shall be amended as follows. Delete 3-2 noise in its entirety, and add new section 3-2 as follows.
Okay, has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, ma'am.
Has any written communication been received?
No, ma'am.
Is there anyone from the public who wishes to be heard on this ordinance? Okay, seeing none, can we have a motion, please?
Yes, Council President, I move to close the public hearing of ordinance number 6778. Move for approval and request a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
yes,
Rivas?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hudak?
yes,
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Ordinance 6779, please.
An ordinance to amend an ordinance entitled, "An Ordinance Establishing a Schedule of Titles, Salary Ranges, and Regulations for Maintaining the Classification and Salary Standardization Plan of All Employees of the City of Linden," passed August 15th, 1995, and approved August 16th, 1995. Be it ordained by the Council of the City of Linden, add Schedule 4-RR6.
Council President,
Councilman
point
Toronto?
point of order, please.
Yes.
We have to amend this amendment further. So on motion, I move to amend ordinance number 67-79 on the second reading as follows. The addition of creating the title of a Special Event Program Coordinator, 2023 minimum salary of $48,000 to 2023 maximum salary of $119,563 annually. And in 2024, the minimum will be $48,000 and the max will be $137,900 annually. And then creating the title of an electrical inspector part-time, the 2023 minimum salary will be $39.37 per hour, and the max in 2023 will be $65 per hour. In 2024, that min will be $39.37 per hour and remain at, in 2024, for the max of $65 per hour. Then we're also going to be creating the title of Assistant City Administrator with a min in 2023 of $75,000 and a max in 2023 of $135,000 annually. And in 2024, that number will move from a min of $75,000 annually to 2024 max of $152,900. And we'll be amending their rate of pay for the following: the building inspector part-time, electrical subcode official part-time, and a plumbing inspector part-time, with the mins in 2023 of $39.37 per hour and a max in 2023 of $65 per hour. And in 2024, the min will be $39.37 per hour and the max will be $65 per hour. The city attorney has opined that the above changes are de minimis and the ordinance, once amended, can be considered for adoption this evening, and I request a second on this motion.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
yes,
Rivas?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hudak?
yes,
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Okay, now we need a motion on, no? Oh, yes, okay. All right. Has this ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, ma'am.
Has any written communication been received?
No, ma'am.
Is there anyone from the public who wishes to be heard on this ordinance? Okay, seeing none, can we have a motion, please?
Okay, Council President, at this time, I'd like to move that the hearing on 6779 be closed, the ordinance adopted, and I request a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
yes,
Rivas?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hudak?
Yes.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Okay, ordinance 6780, please.
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 7, Traffic, of an ordinance entitled, an ordinance adopting and enacting and revised general ordinances of the City of Linden, 1999, passed November 23rd, 1999, and approved November 24th, 1999, and as amended and supplemented. Be it ordained by the Council of the City of Linden, Section 1, that Chapter 7, Section 7-10, parking prohibited at all times on certain streets shall be the same as hereby amended as follows. 7-10, parking prohibited at all times on certain streets. Add Sherman Street, East Side. Add Sherman Street, East Side.
Okay, has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, ma'am.
Has any written communication been received?
No, ma'am.
Is there anyone from the public who wishes to be heard on this ordinance? Seeing none, can we have a motion, please?
Council President, I'd like to move that we close the hearing on ordinance 67-80, adopted, and ask for a second, please.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
Yes.
Rivas?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hudak?
Yes.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Ordinance 6781, please.
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 7, Traffic, of an ordinance entitled, an ordinance adopting and enacting and revised general ordinances of the City of Linden, 1999, passed November 23rd, 1999, and approved November 24th, 1999, and as amended and supplemented. Be it ordained by the Council of the City of Linden, Section 1, of Chapter 7, Section 7-12, parking time limited at all times on certain streets shall be in the same as hereby amended as follows. 7-12, parking time limited. Add Hustle Street, South Side, from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Add Roselle Street, West Side, from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Okay, has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, ma'am.
Has any written communication been received?
No, ma'am.
Is there anyone from the public who wishes to be heard on this ordinance? Seeing none, can we have a motion, please?
Yes, Council President, I move to close the hearing on ordinance 67-81, adopted, and ask for second, please.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
Yes.
Rivas?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine? Yes. Medina?
Yes.
Hudak?
Yes.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Ordinance 6782, please.
An ordinance authorizing the sale of Block 254, lots 1 through 8, commonly known as 7 Northwood Avenue to 27 Northwood Avenue, from 11-15 West Elizabeth Avenue to 27 West Elizabeth Avenue, to the apartments at Linden Station Urban Renewal LLC, pursuant to the local redevelopment and housing law, NJSA 48:12A-1 in sequence.
Okay, has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, ma'am.
Has any written communication been received?
No, ma'am.
Is there anyone from the public who wishes to be heard on this ordinance? Okay, seeing none, can we have a motion, please?
Yes, Council President, I'd like to move that we close the hearing on ordinance 6782, adopted, and ask for a second, please.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
Yes.
Rivas?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Strano?
I said yes. Because you were
Blaine?
talking.
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hudak?
Yes.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Ordinance 6783, please.
Bond ordinance amending bond ordinance 66-31, finally adopted by the City Council of the City of Linden, New Jersey, on May 17th, 2022.
Okay, has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, ma'am.
Has any written communication been received?
No, ma'am.
Is there anyone from the public who wishes to be heard on this ordinance? Seeing none, can we have a motion, please?
Council President, I'd like to make a motion that we close the hearing on ordinance 6783 and adopted, and ask for a second, please.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
Yes.
Rivas?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hudak?
Yes.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Ordinance 6784.
An ordinance amending chapter 10-3025 entitled Registration Fees. Be it ordained by the Council of the City of Linden, Section 1, that Chapter 10-30.5 entitled registration fees shall be deleted in its entirety and replaced as follows. The initial registration fee shall be $500 and must accompany the registration form. The initial registration fee shall be valid for the remainder of the calendar year in which the property is registered. Renewals for subsequent calendar years shall run from January 1 to December 31st, and payment of the renewal fee shall be by January 15th of the relevant years. The fee for each renewal shall be $2,000. Registration fees and renewal fees will not be prorated or refunded. B, no government agency shall be required to pay the annual or renewal registration fee.
Okay. Has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, ma'am.
Has any written communication been received?
No, ma'am.
Is there anyone from the public who wishes to be heard on this ordinance? Please come up.
Hello again. Just registration and renewal fee for what?
Vacant property registration.
What kind of property?
These
Vacant property.
vacant property. The state statute changed, and these are bringing it in line with the state statute.
Is there anyone else from the public who wishes to be heard on this ordinance? Okay, seeing none, can we have a motion, please?
Council President, I move we close the hearing on ordinance 6784, adopted, and ask for a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
Yes.
Rivas? Yes. Strano?
Yes.
Blaine?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hudak?
Yes.
Mrs. Yemekaitis?
Yes. Ordinance 6785, please.
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 2, Administration of an ordinance entitled, An Ordinance Adopting and Enacting the Revised General Ordinances of the City of Linden, 1999, passed November 23, 1999, and approved November 24, 1999, and as amended and supplemented. Be it ordained by the Council of the City of Linden. Delete 2-12.10, off-duty employment of police officers for police-related activities in its entirety. Add new section 2-12.10, off-duty employment of police officers for police-related activity as follows.
Okay. Has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, ma'am.
Has any written communication been received?
No, ma'am.
Is there anyone from the public who wishes to be heard on this ordinance? Please come up.
Yes, on the,
Can you
it said
please
to
just state
delete-
your name and address again for the...
okay, Craig Halloran, 120 Donaldson Place.
Thank you.
It said to delete, and I understand that, that part of the ordinance, but it says add new section 2-12-10, and it says, off-duty employment of police officers for police-related activities as per follows, and then there's nothing. How do we know what they're gonna do? I mean, I'm not saying that we should know what they're doing all the time, but, because it may involve other work that we don't need to know about. But if they're out, say, directing traffic around a construction project or whatever, there's nothing there that tells us what they are doing.
Mr. Halloran, just after each ordinance is introduced, it is posted on its entirety on the city website, so all that information would be present on the city website. This is amending the fees that are being charged for off-duty officers. As their pay rates have gone up, the fees need to go up so that the outside companies hiring them can pay the correct fees and not cost the city any money.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the public who wishes to be heard on this ordinance? Okay, seeing none, can we have a motion, please?
Council President, I'd like to move that the hearing on ordinance number 6785 be closed, the ordinance adopted, and I request a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
Yes.
Rivas?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hudak?
Yes.
Mrs. Yemekaitis?
Yes. Okay, we're going to backtrack on our agenda to the minutes. Can we have a motion on the regular meeting minutes of November 21st, 2023, please?
Yes, Council President, I make a motion for the approval of regular meeting minutes of November 21st, 2023, and request a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
Abstain.
Rivas?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine?
Yes.
Medina?
Abstain.
Hudak?
Yes.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Okay, we'll now move on to consent agenda items. All items listed with asterisks are considered to be routine by the city council and will be enacted with one motion. There'll be no separate discussion on these items unless a council member so requests. We have items number 1 through 7. Can I have a motion, please?
Council President, I move for approval of consent items 1 through 7 and request a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
Yes.
Rivas? Yes. Strano?
Yes.
Blaine?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hudak?
Yes.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Okay, we'll now move on to reports from members of the governing body, beginning with Councilwoman Ormond for the first ward, please.
Thank you, Council President. I'm going to start up with my Budget Review and Finance Report, followed by the Division of Transportation and Properties, and then followed by a little blurb from the Linden Heritage and Culture Committee, and then my ward report. So the Budget Review and Finance approval is requested for the following finance actions: the payment of bills totaling $3,548,969.99. Bills have been signed by the mayor, council president, and finance chairwoman, and a detailed check register and vouchers are on file in the clerk's office. We are in receipt of investments made by the city treasurer for the month of November at a rate of 4.75%. I move for approval and ask for a second, please.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
Yes.
Rivas?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hudak?
Yes.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Go ahead, Councilwoman.
Okay, the Division of Transportation and Properties. I hereby submit the monthly financial report from the Division of Transportation and Parking for the month of November 2023. This report includes the collection of on- and off-street parking meters, railroad parking lots, railroad parking permits, and merchant parking permits. The Trenton side collections, $2,077. New York side collections, $1,364. Railroad credit card transactions, $24,651.82. Railroad permits, $384. Railroad mobile payment, 2320 parking, $2,934. Online railroad permits, 0. Parking meter collections, $11,194.60. Merchant parking, 0. Grand total, $42,605.42. And just to add that if you park on Wood Avenue, you will see for the holiday season, the bags, white bags are covering all the meters, just to wish you a happy holiday and where you can park and shop without having to be plagued by the meter. So once again, enjoy shopping on Wood Avenue. Now, we are also in need of crossing guards. These are part-time positions for morning and afternoon. One of the great things about being a crossing guard is that you get to work with some of God's most precious creation, and those are the children. So we are really interested in having crossing guards come and help protect our children, because I'm sure you love them as much as we do. I just also want to say that snow season is rapidly approaching. The winter's here. And remember that when the snow comes, we have a minimal time to remove the snow from our walkways. We do not want our residents to remove it and toss the snow back into the street. This presents imminent danger because cars will run it over, flatten it, and make it slippery. And DPW will not be mandated to come back out and redo a street once we have plowed it because residents have thrown snow out in it. And we've had residents where the whole entire block has thrown snow from their sidewalks back into the street. It's very dangerous. And also, just when it does snow, please adhere to the no parking on whatever side of the street. And there are some streets that you're not supposed to park on at all for snow removal. So we're just asking that you do adhere to any of those warnings or signs in the event of a snowstorm. You will be towed if you don't. I also want to say that 'tis the season to be bright, so we want you to light it up and light it up right. We are having our Christmas decorating contest. The Linden Culture and Heritage Committee has this every year. So we are going to be out in our neighborhoods, each and every one of the council people, and we will nominate 3 of the most outstanding, brightly lit houses for our contest. If you would like to enter your own house, you can do so by sending an email to lindencultural26@yahoo.com. That's LINDENCULTURAL26@yahoo.com. And then last but not least, well, 2 things. I would like to take the time right now to thank Councilman Garnett Blaine for his years of service to our community. As the mayor had mentioned, it wasn't just the last 4 years, but it was many, many years of his dedicated commitment to the community and to our children. But specifically for the last 4 years that he has, for the last 3 years that he has served on council as part of this team, making sure that city business was taken care of. It's a hard job, and a lot of people think that we just do it because we just want to do it. But it is something that we really take serious because we all feel the same way about this wonderful city that we love. So I would like to wish him all the best in his future endeavors, and just remember that what you did for the city and what I hope that you will continue to do for the city will always be admired and respected. Best of luck to you, Mr. Blaine. And then last but not least, this is the best time of the year. I'd like to just wish everyone a wonderful holiday season, regardless of what you celebrate, whether it's Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, or Christmas. Take the time to celebrate and rejoice and spend time with those that you love. Make amends to those who have offended you in the past, and just realize that, you know, life is too short for us not to enjoy. So Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and Happy Kwanzaa to all. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Javik?
Thank you, Council President. As chairman of the Fire Committee, the Fire Prevention Bureau collected the following monies during the month of November 2023, a total of $4,934.38. Regarding the Linden Fire Department ambulance billing, the amount of $86,029.24 for November 2023 have been added to the total deposits for 2023, totaling $1,040,653.83. This is the first time we ever brought in over $1 million annually, and we could hit, at this rate, $1.1 million by year end. Referencing updates from the Board of Health, at the request of the FDA, the New Jersey Department of Health Food Protection Program requested assistance from local health departments to investigate all Dollar Tree, and Dollar General and Amazon fulfillment centers to determine the presence of and then destroy or embargo Wanabana, Weiss, and Shucks apple cinnamon fruit puree pouches and cinnamon applesauce due to reports of elevated levels of lead found in certain units of the products. Our registered environmental health specialists conducted inspections of these locations in Linden and found one Dollar Tree store had 60 units of the product on their shelves. The store voluntarily destroyed the product under the observation of the REHS while on site, and our department notified the state. On October 29, 2023, Wanabana USA voluntarily recalled the products, and we're working with FDA to identify the source of the contamination. To date, FDA has received 65 reports of adverse events potentially linked to the products. To date, CDC has received reports of 46 confirmed cases of elevated blood lead levels in children, all under age 6, in 22 states related to these products. As of December 8, 2023, there have been no adverse events, and no cases of elevated blood level reported in the state of New Jersey. Consumers should check their homes for these products, and if found, discard the product by carefully opening the pouch and empty the contents, and then placing the empty package into a trash receptacle, cleaning up any spills, washing hands afterwards thoroughly. Also, reports of increased cases of flu, COVID-19, and RSV have been reported in multiple countries recently. CDC is tracking increased activity for these illnesses in the U.S. as well through lab test results, emergency department visits, hospitalizations, and wastewater surveillance. Currently, the highest respiratory disease activity in the U.S. is in the southern half of the country, with increasing activity in northern states. In response, CDC has issued a health advisory to healthcare providers to alert them to low immunization rates for flu, COVID-19, and RSV. Low immunization rates, along with increased transmission of these diseases, could lead to healthcare capacity strain in the coming weeks. Infants and older adults remain at the highest risk of severe outcomes for RSV, which is the current leading cause of infant hospitalizations in the U.S. Good evening, everybody. So in our second ward, we currently have ongoing gas work taking place in the areas of DeWitt, Lafayette Street, and West Henry Street. This is scheduled to January 4th, 2024. Scheduled completion of the gas work portion of the job is April 1st through the 8th. Restoration of topsoil, seed, and concrete work should be completed within weeks of the gas work. Milling and paving schedule will follow. And as the year comes to a close, I want to personally wish you all happy holidays. May we have peace in the world and overcome our preconceived differences and finally live as one. I can be reached at 908-494-4608 or email me at bjavick@linden-newjersey.gov. On Facebook, Second Ward Councilman Barry E. Javick. Additional information can always be found on our City of Linden website. Council President, and the report.
Thank you, Councilman Javick. Councilwoman Caldwell?
Thank you, Council President. Neighbors of the Third Ward, let's start with the Code and Construction Department. In the month of November 2023, we've seen a substantial activity with the issuance of 318 permits and the processing of 40 certificates and a revenue generating $85,759 in fees. Moving on to the IT front. Our city's cybersecurity is a top priority. The infrastructure undergoes weekly scans by the New Jersey Cybersecurity Communications and Integration Cell. While no system can guarantee absolute protection, we are dedicated to continuously improving our cybersecurity posture. It's noteworthy that the fire department has joined the cybersecurity training platform, emphasizing the importance of ensuring the security of our digital assets. I would also like to take a moment to express my heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you for your unwavering support during a challenging time in my life. Thanks to my husband, Raymond Caldwell, my sons, Trevor and Tyler Caldwell, as well as my furry daughter, Sasha. I want to extend a warm thanks to Council President Yamakaitis, Councilman Blaine, Councilwoman Hudak, and Councilman Roman for checking in on me and sending me their well wishes. To my Third Ward neighbors, thank you for your texts and your calls checking in on me. You rock. Your calls, texts, and well wishes have been a source of strength, and I want you to know how much I appreciate it. As we look towards the future, I must share with you in early January 2024, I will be undergoing a major surgery. During this period, Councilman John Roman Francis will be your point of contact for the Third Ward. I asked him, and he basically said it would be an honor. He's reachable at 908-494-5784. I trust that our community will continue to thrive under his guidance while I'm recuperating. I'm also pleased to announce, after years of advocating, hopefully we will be getting a four-way stop at the corner of Blanky and Maple Ave in the new year. We have had 5 consecutive accidents in a rolling 12 months. This is a significant achievement for our community safety, and it reaffirms the principle that persistence pays off. Before I conclude, I want to acknowledge the tireless efforts of our city workers, DPW, the fire department, and all those who contribute to the smooth functioning of our city. Your dedication does not go unnoticed, and I extend my deepest appreciation. I also want to send out a special thank you to Brian McGuire on the fire department. On November 20th, my father took a fall on his back steps, and he was one of the firemen that showed up and took my father to the hospital. And he was knowledgeable, he was kind, and I just want to thank you. I also want to thank and wish Councilman Blaine the best. It was a pleasure serving with you, and do not become a stranger. And I want to say a special thank you to Mark Patacco for his invaluable contributions to our city. I want to wish Charlie Crane a well-deserved and fulfilling retirement from IT. And in closing, I want to wish everyone, each and everyone, a joyous and happy holiday season. May the coming year bring prosperity, unity, and continued growth to our beloved Third Ward. I look forward to seeing you in the new year. Stay safe. Please feel free to reach out to me at 908-531-0676 or contact me via email at mcaldwell@linden-newjersey.gov. And thank you for always allowing me to represent you. Without you, there is no me. Thank you, and God bless. And that concludes my report, Council President.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Rivas.
Thank you, Madam President. Good evening. I'd like to start providing some updates or some reports of the Board of Education. In my role as a liaison with the city and the role of education, I'd like to inform the citizens that the ESL department held a family fun night at school number 4, which is the school in our ward, and lots of families had the opportunity to meet parents, children, and the staff, having a great night of showing what the ESL department plans are for continuing the education of our children in their city and in our ward. I also like to inform, as news from the Board of Education, that the forms for pre-K 3 and pre-K 4 registrations will be mailed in January to our constituents. Please make sure you stay attentive to the forms if you have a child that you need to register for pre-K 3 and pre-K 4. Last but not least, within the good initiative that the Board of Education is doing, I'd like to recognize the initiative that they're taking together with City Hall on a program called It Takes a Village to Succeed in Education. There is currently a contest given to the students, and the title of this contest is How Do We Maintain Our School Safe? Our students have the opportunity to send a 2-minute video to the organizers in order to not only provide us with great engagements of ideas of how we can all work together on keeping our schools safe, but also to giving the chance to win a prize. There are first prizes in the 3 levels of our education. There is a $500 prize for elementary school, $750 prize for middle school, and $1,000 for high school. I think this initiative is great because it entitles the whole community and the whole of the children, giving us ideas of how we can work together to keep our schools safe. In regards to the 5th Ward, I have to inform my neighbors that I am entering some entries to the Christmas decorating contest in our ward. I'd like to first say that I'm very pleased and happy to see the Christmas spirit out there in our ward. I have that opportunity to drive around the city, and no disrespect to the other wards, my ward is having a lot of houses with a lot of Christmas joy and Christmas decorations. So thank you for keeping this time of the year of festivities. It is that time of the year where all of us share and wish the best to each other. It is a very hard time for my family, but I want to not lose the opportunity to wish all of you to please be safe and enjoy the holiday celebration. All of you, please have a blessed holiday season. That concludes my report, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilman. Okay, Councilman Roman was excused this evening, but he sent a report for me to share with the residents of the 6th Ward. Follow up quickly on some outstanding issues. Smith Street was regraded and repaved last week to alleviate standing water issues left behind when it was paved in May. I appreciate engineering for getting this done free of taxpayer expense. This past storm was proof that what they did down there did help, as the water is mostly running. In the future, water catch basins and water drains will have to be part of the solution to get the water off the street. Also regarding Smith Street, I have recently spoken to Conrail, and they will be trimming behind the residential properties on the train line this next month and this coming spring. The proposed car wash on Pleasant and Rebecca Street did pass the planning board this month. Though I was skeptical about this being built behind the houses on Hampton, the owners of the car wash made many concessions to me and thus the residents. Concessions include no driveway or opening on Rebecca Street, no parking on Rebecca Street, a 12-foot buffer between the property lines between Hampton and the start of their driveway on the back street, and another 12-foot buffer between Rebecca and the start of their driveway on the Pleasant Street side. These buffers will have extensive vegetation and well-irrigated evergreen tree types. These should create a nice quality of life buffer. On top of this, they will create curbing on Rebecca from Pleasant to the end of their property on Rebecca to connect with the curbing we just constructed on Rebecca. And they also plan on making catch basin drains there so that they will catch excess water and not create any more issues for us, as we already have a problem with water there. I am happy that these outcomes and concessions offered by the owner. The storm this past Monday dropped over 3 inches of rain and flooded several areas of the 6th Ward. Emma Place flooded to the point where the Morris Creek was overrun, and the water from the creek again flooded the cemetery and the drains on Emma Place. Thankfully, the exact time of rain was falling coincided with absolute low tide, so the damage could certainly have been worse. If it were high tide, houses would have been completely flooded again, just like in Sandy and Ida. The city of Linden and our residents near the Morris Creek need state and federal intervention, otherwise these floods will continue. The cost is great, $20 million, but it's either that or we need to buy everyone on the block out. Thank you to DPW and the Linden Fire Department for helping to clean up the aftermath of the storm. Over the next couple of days, we plan on vacuuming any remaining leaves out of these drains. Also, if anyone had contents of their home damaged, as there have been a few, please call me at 908-494-5784, and I will work on getting them picked up for you. I am proud that I will be sworn in on my 3rd term serving the 6th Ward residents exactly 2 weeks from today on January 2nd, right here in these chambers. All are invited. Thank you for your vote of confidence, and I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, Happy Holiday, and a Happy New Year. Respectfully, John Francis Roman, Linden 6th Ward Councilman. Okay, Councilman Strano, you're up.
Thank you, Council President. I might need a little extra time. I got a 2-pager this
Yes,
time.
I know.
And there's a lot to it. People want to take a nap, I won't be offended. And then I'll have a little bit of my own report after that. So the personnel report starts off with the municipal court. So A is the approving the appointment of LaCoya Bally as a temporary part-time clerk at the rate of $18.98 per hour, not to exceed 20 hours per week, and that's effective December 28th of 2023. And of course, it'll be subject to successful completion of the city's pre-employment requirements. B is to amend the hiring date of Brittany Wallace, Clerk 1, to December 6th of 2023. 2, in the Board of Health, is approving the resignation in good standing of Paula Rosario Z., Registered Environmental Health Specialist, and that's effective December 8th of 2023. And B is approval to post statewide for a Registered Environmental Health specialist, full-time, at the salary range of $51,273 to $84,297 annually. C is amending the appointment of Carolina Picard, intern, as an unpaid intern. 3, in the tax assessor's office, approving the posting for a clerk 1 full-time at the salary range of $34,548 to $61,470. 4, in the mayor's office, A is the approval to post for a city administrator full-time at the salary range of $85,000 to $155,000 annually. B is approving the posting for 2 assistant city administrators at the salary range of $75,000 to $135,000 annually. C, in the constituent services, is approving the voluntary transfer of Lamari Cintron, Clerk 1, full-time to constituent services at the annual salary of $47,300, effective December 20th of 2023. 5, in social services, approving the appointment of Carbona Raymond, Clerk 1, full-time at the prorated salary of $44,000, effective December 27th, 2023, subject to the successful completion of the city's pre-employment requirements. 6, in the Recreation Department, is approving the transfer of Sandra Jackson, Clerk 4, to the position of Recreation Program Coordinator, full-time at the annual salary of $80,306, effective December 20th, 2023. B is the approval of the seasonal list that's on file in the clerk's office. 7, in the Fire Department, A is approval to post for a Clerk 1 full-time at the salary range of $34,548 to $61,470. 8, in the Police Department, accepting the resignation in good standing of Eric Libby, Public Safety Telecommunicator, effective December 21st, 2023. And B is approving to post for the Public Safety Telecommunicator statewide at the annual salary of $42,000. 9, in the Department of Community Services, A is approving the resignation in good standing for Michael Plonsky, mechanic in the Public Works, full-time, effective December 8th of 2023. B is approving to post for a mechanic in Public Works at the salary range of $18 to $45.72 per hour. C is approving the appointment of Timothy Cook, senior diesel mechanic in Public Works, full-time at the annual rate of $33 per hour, and that is subject to successful completion of the city's pre-employment requirements, effective December 27th of 2023. D is approving the appointment of Darren Bettis, mechanic helper, Public Works, full-time at the hourly rate of $20.37 per hour, subject to the successful completion of the city's pre-employment requirements, effective December 27th of 2023. E is approving the appointment of James Corbett, labor in Public Works at the hourly rate of $18 an hour, subject to the successful completion of the city's pre-employment requirements, and that's effective December 27th of 2023. F is approving the appointment of Aubrey Dudley, I should say, labor Public Works at the annual rate of $18 per hour, and that's subject to the successful completion of the city's pre-employment requirements, effective December 27th of 2023. G is approving the appointment of Marcus Tucker, labor Public Works at the hourly rate of $18 per hour, subject to the successful completion of the city's pre-employment requirements, effective December 27th of 2023. And H is approval of the seasonal list that's on file in the clerk's office. 10, in the Treasury Department, Division of Tax Collector, is to amend the hire date for Natalie Gomez, Clerk 1, to December 6th of 2023. 11, in the personnel, this is under personnel. A is approving the FMLA, NJFLA leaves that are on file in the Division of Personnel. B is approving the carryover of vacation time per the attached list. C is budgetary moves and title changes, all effective December 20th, 2023. And under CI is Tracy Jones, Municipal Court, promotion to Clerk 2 at the annual salary of $44,498. And II is Cassandra Corbett, Municipal Court, to $92,525. III is Susan McMillan, Municipal Court, to $83,012. And I guess this is 4, not IV. 4 is Jennifer Honan, Clerk's Office, to $118,867. 5 is Jessica Sheehy, Personnel Division, to $143,269. 6 is Nancy Gomes, Police Department, to $98,241. 7 is Dennis Cabezas, Police Department, to $42,600. 8 is Christine Figueredo, Treasury Department, to $121,986. 9 is Marissa De Silva in Construction Code to $53,800. 10 is Dennis Carbone, Construction Code promotion to Assistant Construction Official at $92,500. 11 is Michael Jusefic, Construction Code to $92,500. 12 is Mark Rataco, Construction Code to $133,237. 13 is Joseph Krobeck, Engineering Department, to $127,184. 14 is James Buckley, Department of Community Services, to $125,897. 15 is Tyrone Givens, Department of Community Services, to $127,500. 16 is Theron Dix, Department of Community Services, to $41.40 per hour. 17 is Matthew Serwinski, Department of Community Services, promotion to Assistant Supervisor, Recreation and Maintenance at $67,179. 18 is Darren Williams, Department of Community Services, promotion to Traffic Maintenance Worker at $20.64 per hour. 19 is Anthony Chesney, Department of Community Services, to $20.93 per hour. 20 is Veronica Caruso, Department of Community Services, to $20.03 per hour. 21 is Pedro Calzado, Department of Community Services, to $30.30 per hour. 22 is Franklin Carrillo, Department of Community Services, to $27.50 per hour. 23 is Ashton Giles, Department of Community Services, to $27.79 an hour. 24 is Tyrone Hinton, Department of Community Services, to $28.50 per hour. 25, Christopher Hunter, Department of Community Services, $28 per hour. 26 is Ruben Lopes, Department of Community Services, to $27.50 per hour. 27 is Trell Myers, Department of Community Services, to $25 an hour. 28 is Shamil McLeod, Department of Community Services, to $27 per hour. 29 is Phil Ransom, to the Department of Community Services, to $33.89 per hour. 30 is Rebecca Totoli in the Mayor's Office, to $76,813. 31 is Leanne White in the Mayor's Office, to $54,375. 32 is Saskia Carrillo to the Recreation Department, to $47,300. 33 is Jasmine Steele, Municipal Court, to $53,882. And 34 is Gary Hickman in the Police Department, to $25 per hour. Move for approval, and I request a second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Gabbard?
Yes.
Caldwell?
Yes to everything, and I abstain on 4B and 4D.
There is no 4D.
There is no 4D. Oh, it's 4C.
Okay. Okay.
4C.
Mr. Rivas?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Wayne?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hudak?
Yes.
Mrs. Gibbons?
Yes.
Council President, could you just
Yes,
oblige
go
me a little
ahead.
bit extra time here? So in the Department of Community Services, I just want all the constituents to know that leaf collection is on its final passes throughout the city. In a proactive move, our supervisory component is scouting the city for these orphan piles that are left behind. But any that may have been escaped scrutiny can be called into DPW. Please don't abuse this by going out and creating piles and then calling it in. Leaf bags are still available, and they're at the recycling center, or you can call your council person, and they will provide them for you. And with our skate park construction, the first concrete ramps have been poured. There's still a ways to go before completion. The recent weather has curtailed construction, obviously, but apparently the outlook is for favorable weather, and we're optimistic that we'll get somewhere near completion before the bad weather finally hits us. And finally, the Range Road Culvert project is supposed to commence and be completed by the end of the year, but I'm not holding my breath on that. This has been going on for quite a while. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilman Strano. Councilman Blaine?
I'd like to start off by asking for an extra minute.
Sure.
Please. As you all know, this is my last night here on council, so I'm going to start off by just thanking the council president, the mayor, this council, every official in this town. You guys are, it's such a pleasure to serve with you. I'm still going to be around, and I hope that we continue to move forward in the city of Linden. The last couple of years have been a tremendous opportunity for me, and the one thing that I've learned is that I don't know how to lose. There is no book on losing, and if it was, I wouldn't read it. I'm being very transparent. But the one thing about being on council, and this experience has taught me humility. And you have to humble yourself. And a man of honor and great character, I want to extend the warmest congratulations to Mark Armstead and his newly elected position as councilman. I want you guys to get behind him. The thing you have to understand is that Mark aspired to be on council. I was chosen. There's a big difference. When you aspire to do something, you know exactly what you're getting into. You know what it entails. And let me share this with you. If he shall fall short, he has a multitude of support on this staff here that's going to help him be successful. So get behind him, support him. We all still live in this town. We all going to do great things in this town. And I just wish him the best. With that being said, I want to encourage everyone to, especially everybody who come out monthly. Some of you guys are like fixtures here, and I applaud you for just being engaged and just being a part of this whole political process, because it's your efforts that holds us accountable. Continue to do that. Don't stop, because all of us has to be checked. Every single one of us. And if it wasn't for you, a lot of things would go unchecked. So stay engaged. Be a part of. I'm happy to say I was a part of the number of years where we experienced zero tax increase in this town. I was a part of that. Be a part of life. I was a part of the state championship in this town. I was a part of 11 years of coaching these kids. I was a part of this community. I stay engaged. I encourage you all to stay engaged. Listen, I know nothing but how to fight. As my childhood friend, as he stands here as Director of Parks and Recreation, can tell you where we come from, you learn how to fight. And if you don't know how to fight, by the time you leave there, you will know how to fight. So I just tell you that stay engaged, fight for what's right, live life, and just love each other. Because out of all the work that I've done here on council, we could talk about St. Mark's Park renovation. We could talk about the neighbor that I helped get the 10,000 grant money so they could fix their house. The neighbor that experienced a rotten tree in her neighbor's yards, and she was scared to let her children play out, and we got that removed with the help of the health department. There's a plethora of things that we've done in this city that will go unmentioned, because I'm not one to get on Facebook or social media to tell people what I've done. I just do it. I do it out of the goodness of my heart. But before I leave here, I just want to say that there's a couple of people, good people that serve in this town that sometimes go unnoticed. There's not one time, not once, and I get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I could text Jerry Bishop at 4 o'clock. Do you know by 4:30 I get a response? I'm like, he must be just as crazy as I am, because he's always there. And I just want to say thank you for that. I also want to thank the mayor. There's not one time that I didn't call the mayor and he didn't respond to my call. Same as Michelle Yamakaitis. This police department is one of the finest police departments in this country. Believe it. We don't have a lot of shenanigans going on in Linden because of our police department. Our town stays safe because of the fire department. We've experienced the quality of life because of our engineering department. Yeah, do we have work to do? Sure, but we're getting there. Stay engaged, family. I ain't died. I'm just stepping down from council. I'm still the same guy I was. I'm the same guy that gets out and shovels for my neighbor's yard because they're elderly. I fed the meanest lady on the block. This is a good story, true story. Meanest lady on the block. Miss Yamakaitis, you probably remember Miss Smith, was one of the meanest ladies on the block. Everybody was afraid of her. But do you know, in her elderly years, and she got sick, I always went over there and gave her soup and a tuna sandwich. I didn't care. Your meanness don't bother me. I'm a human being. I care for the next human being. That's what it's all about. We got to live together. And on that note, I just want to say thank you to everyone. And listen, there's a lady in here that I'm not going to mention her name, but I tease her every council meeting. I still will be watching, and if you don't cut your hair, I'm going to come into this meeting and tell you about it. So I'm still the same. I'm still a Lindenite and will always be. Thank you, everybody, for your time and for tolerating me.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Medina.
Yes, thank you, Council President. By the time it gets to my end here, everything has been said, but I just want to thank Councilman Blaine for his contribution to the city of Linden, his residents in his ward, start going to get the word out. And I know he still will be around, and he's still going to remain a person that we can potentially reach out to for any issue, any help or concern or anything like that for information. So thank you, Councilman Blaine. Like I said before, by the time it gets back here, everything has been said. So I just want to wish everyone a happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and a happy New Year's. And that's really what I have for the 9th Ward. More to come in January. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Hudak.
Thank you. I want us all to remember those who are continuing to protect our freedom, who are far from 07036, so that we can continue to celebrate Councilman Brain and to gather together. And I think we're all going to agree that it's wonderful to live in such a community as Linden, where our active military and our veterans are so appreciated. And the one question I've been asked is Santa Claus real? Well, believing in Santa Claus represents believing that kindness, innocence, and hope and wonder still exists. So when you have an open mind and an open heart, your capacity to act upon giving and the generosity, it has multiple perspectives of happiness, and that creates smiles. Linden is a diverse community. Many languages are spoken, but a smile is one universal language that puts a different view on the world. So enjoy the mystery of this holiday season, however old you may be. And as far as those 8 tiny reindeer that fly, I'm leaving it to the guy behind me to answer that question. He has 5 kids. He's better off on that one. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Okay. I'd like to start off my report by wishing a very happy birthday to the woman with the great hair in the room, our Deputy Clerk, Jennifer Honan. Happy birthday. Okay. I would like to also take this opportunity to congratulate our police chief, David Hart. He's not here this evening, on his recent Lifetime Service Award from the New Jersey Emergency Management Association. For the past 20 years, Chief Hart has played a major role in every critical incident in Linden. On behalf of the council, we would like to congratulate him on a well-deserved honor. At this time, I would also like to acknowledge we have 2 retirements this evening. From our IT department, Charlie Crane Jr. is retiring after 30 years of service to the city. And in our fire department, firefighter Michael Jackson is retiring after 24 years of service. Firefighter Jackson is an exemplary fireman. He received several Valor Awards during his career for his bravery and has done so much for the city and the Linden community, chairing the Toys for Tots for the Marine Corps, cooking each year at the Breakfast for Santa. I must say he also makes fantastic cupcakes, which he donates to many events, so being retired, I guess we'll be receiving many more cupcakes. So at this time, I would just like to wish both Charlie Crane and Mike Jackson the best for the years ahead, and I hope they enjoy their retirement. As a reminder to residents, our Anchor program, the deadline to file for up to $1,750 of property tax relief is December 29th, 2023. To be eligible for this year's benefit, you must have occupied your primary residence on October 1st, 2020. You must also file or be exempt from New Jersey income taxes. Homeowners and renters can apply online or by mail. Homeowners also have the option to apply by telephone by calling 1-877-658-2972. Again, that number is 1-877-658-2972. And that deadline, once again, is December 29, 2023. The Mayor's Youth Commission, in conjunction with the Linden Recreation Department and the Linden Civic Committee, hosted the annual Breakfast with Santa this past weekend. It was a wonderful event. I think this year was top-notch. You know, we keep outdoing each year. I would like to just take this opportunity to thank all the volunteers who contributed to the success of the program. It was great, and we look forward to that event next year. Councilman Blaine, once again, I wish you the best. We'll be seeing you around. You know, I'm 8th Ward too, so we look forward to seeing you, and we know you will not become a stranger. So I want to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, and a happy and healthy New Year. Mayor, at this time, you're up.
Yes, I want you all to know you're going to be a tough act to follow. You guys give some outstanding speeches. First, I'd like to congratulate Chief Hart on his Lifetime Achievement Award as the Emergency Management Association. Chief Hart has basically given his blood to make sure that our emergency management is operating and is effective. And aside from he's just an out-and-out nice guy. I enjoy working with him, and I enjoy working with anybody who gives of themselves to make our town better, or any place in this world better. I'd like to personally thank congratulate Michael Jackson on his retirement, and Charlie Crane, but I'd be remiss if I didn't speak a little bit about Michael Jackson and what he and his wife do. This weekend we had our mayor's Breakfast with Santa. It was last Saturday. We served over 580 people, and the breakfast consisted of pancakes, eggs, potatoes, and sausage. We gave out over 270 toys, and in addition, we raised $695 that's being donated to Mrs. Olga Plummer, who we call our warrior volunteer. This money is going to help her with her medical expenses. She has cancer, but that doesn't stop her from volunteering. To me, she has a tremendous spirit, and I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that. I'd like to thank my council members, all of you, each and every one of you, for supporting an agenda that I've been trying to forward here, and that agenda is very simple. We try to be as efficient as we possibly can in government, and we try to do it without putting a burden on our on our constituents who own their homes by raising their taxes, and we've been very successful over the last 7 years. We basically held the line for 7 years without having our residents suffer. We did it through the pandemic, which we thought was right, and I tell everybody, I do it with the most selfish of intentions. I say, I think about Linden. My grandfather came to this town in 1927. So over the years, our family is here. We've cultivated relationships with many people. And I say this, I do it with the most selfish of intentions. I'm not going to raise my taxes. I don't want to raise my friends' taxes. I don't want to raise my family's taxes to the point where they can't afford to live here anymore. And we've done that, and again, I could only do that with a supporting cast, and that's my council and my department heads, who work very close with me to make sure that we can move this city forward in a good direction. That being said, I'm going to close out by saying I want you all to have a healthy, happy, and prosperous new year. You know, without our health and our strength, we have nothing. So I think that's first and foremost, to be healthy. And I turn my TV on and I watch the news every night. I'm at the point in my life when I turn the TV on and I see the news, I just want to go back to one of the old stations, maybe look at a little bit of All in the Family, Sanford and Son, and some of the good old shows when life was so much different in this country. It seems these days that all you see on TV is death and destruction. So I know this year, all I want for Christmas is peace on earth. And I hope one day we'll have that, but it just doesn't seem to be occurring right now. But with that being said, everybody, God bless you all. Have a healthy and happy, prosperous new year. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Okay, we'll now move on to resolutions. This evening, we have, we'll begin with we have resolutions 2023-420 through 2023, that number is wrong, 455. Okay, can we have a motion, please?
Yes, Council President, before I make a motion for the resolution, I make a motion to remove Resolution 2023-421. And request a second on that one. To remove 421?
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
Yes.
Rivas?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine? Yes. Medina?
Yes.
Hudak?
Yes.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Council President?
Yes.
Point of order, I don't know, is 455 to be included, or we have to add that in?
No, we have
We have to add that in.
Yeah, so it is 454.
454. We have a motion on that.
Okay. Council President, I make a motion for the adoption of Resolution 2023-420 through 454, again with the exception of 421. And I ask for a second.
Second.
Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
Yes.
Rivas?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine? Yes. Medina?
Yes.
Hudak?
Yes.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Okay, Mr. Clerk, we have an additional.
Yes, ma'am. This will be 2023-455, resolution approving memorandum of understanding with various unions. Whereas the Council of the City of Linden has collective negotiation agreements with the Linden Teamsters Local 469 White Collar, and whereas the Council of the City of Linden has a collective negotiation agreement with the Teamsters Local 125, and whereas each of the aforementioned collective negotiation agreements expire on December 31st, 2023, and whereas the council and each of the aforementioned unions have negotiated a successor agreement for their respective members and have memorialized the said terms in a memorandum of understanding. Now therefore be it resolved that this council approve the following memorandums of understanding with each of the following unions for the period January 1, 2024 through December 31st, 2028. Teamsters Local 469 White Collar, Teamsters Local 125. Be it further resolved that this council authorizes the mayor of the city of Linden to execute the attached memorandum of understanding on behalf of the city. Be it further resolved that this resolution is effective, subject to the aforementioned provisions.
Okay, can we have a motion, please?
Yes, Council President, I make a motion for the approval of Resolution 2023-455 and request a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
Yes.
Rivas?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine? Yes. Medina?
Yes.
Hudak?
Yes.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Council President,
Yes.
point of order, please. I'd like to modify my vote I need to abstain on number 446.
So noted.
Thank you, Councilman.
Thank you.
All right, ordinances on first reading. This is the end of the year, so we have no new ordinances for introduction for December. So we'll move on to comments from members of the public on city business only. No personal, political, or derogatory comments. Not to exceed 3 minutes, please. Okay, we'll begin with Craig Halloran. Please state your name and address for the record.
Okay, Craig Halloran, 120 Donaldson Place. First of all, I'd like to wish everybody here and online, on TV, whatever, a Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, and Happy Hanukkah, and a prosperous and happy and healthy New Year. I would also like to extend my thanks to all the people up here, the city employees I engaged with over the years to bring up comments and, talk with them so I can learn. And happy birthday back there. Again, I enjoy working with everybody. I'm looking forward to another great year of collaboration with, everybody here. And I'm looking forward to reading the budget. Thank you very much. Have a great holiday.
Thank you, Mr. Halloran. Okay, Stephanie Bologna. Please state your name and address for the record.
Sure. Hi, my name is Stephanie Bologna, and I live on West Elizabeth Ave. So I'm here today as one of the nurses from Robert Wood Johnson in New Brunswick. I've been a nurse in New Jersey for over 15 years. I've worked for 3 different healthcare systems, including Hackensack Meridian, Prime Healthcare, and Robert Wood Johnson Barnabas Health. As a resident of Linden, New Jersey, logistically, we have the option to choose which health system we would like to be a patient in. But I'm here to tell you that regardless of what hospital you may choose, your life may be at risk, because every hospital in New Jersey is in a crisis, a staffing crisis. This crisis is because nurses across New Jersey are taking care of more patients than is safe. As an ICU nurse, my time matters. How much time I spend in a patient's room matters. Minutes count. Delayed seconds in response time can be fatal. An additional patient in the ICU is literally the difference between life or death. When you add an additional patient to an average nurse's workload, the patient's mortality rate goes up. A study done in the early 2000s showed an increase in 7% of mortality, yet the most recent studies from 2021 have shown a 12 to 16% increase in the mortality rate. I can recall a time just this past year I was working in an ICU where I was assigned an extra patient, then as a standard for safety in a critical care unit. My time was divided into 3 parts. Each of the patients was given less time in patient care because of that extra workload. My patients were not entirely complicated, but they required frequent monitoring and blood work. 2 of these patients were fully supported on a breathing machine. My 3rd patient had a discharge order, and she was ready to go home. She was my stable patient, yet something about her did not look right. I argued with the ICU resident for hours, saying I will not discharge her. We need labs, we need an x-ray, she needs 1 more night. I said I am not discharging this patient until we check her blood work. Finally, at 6:30 p.m., I got the orders I needed. I drew her blood work and endorsed my assessment to the evening nurse, and I went home. I filled out an unsafe practice form and I sent it to my manager. I returned the next day to find out that my patient, the day before, who had a discharge order, coded at 8:30 p.m. and she died. I struggled in my mind and in my heart, and I thought, what did I miss? Should I have gotten her labs earlier? Should I have spent more time arguing with the resident? I felt guilty and soon realized that this was not my fault. I am working in a broken system in which my time divided has become a matter of who lives and who dies. Yes, as you may have guessed, on August 4th, 2023, I was one of the 1,700 nurses who walked out of the doors of Robert Wood Johnson Hospital in the name of patient safety. Yet you should know that this situation I described above did not happen at Robert Wood Johnson. Yet I was there on the picket lines, and yet I'm here today because enforceable patient ratios matter to every resident of this town. The unsafe practice forms, like the one I filled out, has become standard across all hospitals. These forms are just a reflection of patients as an afterthought. It's just a meaningless piece of paper. Currently, there is no law that limits the amount of patients nurses take care of. Hospitals believe they are saving money by giving nurses that extra patient, but at what cost? Whose life will be at stake? Will it be your mother, your father, your sister, your husband? How many lives will be paid before safe patient ratios becomes the law in New Jersey? Sorry.
Can you summarize, please? Your time is...
I am here today to thank you for putting a resolution on the agenda showing your support of the Safe Staffing Bill, S304 and A4536, establishing minimum registered, establishing minimum professional registered nurse staffing standards. Passing this resolution demonstrates your commitment to our community's public health and advocacy for legislation that addresses how serious this concern is and how it impacts all of us. We hope that after today, you use your government influence. Use your government influence to help us get this bill passed, mandating safe patient ratios in New Jersey, making Linden and the rest of the state safer in New Jersey. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for all you do. Colin Curran, please state your name and address for the record, sir.
Hello. My name is Colin Curran. I'm a resident at 1300 Pierce Street in Rahway. I'm also a nurse at Robert Wood Johnson Hospital. I just wanted to clarify that the resolution that she spoke of, you guys passed it just now, correct?
Yes.
Okay, well, I wanted to thank you all very much for your support of this legislation. And I just also wanted to, I believe all of you as elected officials in the home city of our Senate President, Mr. Scutari, are in a unique position to influence a very powerful individual. I'm not an expert on local politics. I can't say what any of your relationship is with him. It's probably complex, but I do believe you all have a lot of power to put a good word in for this legislation. And I ask you to do that to the best of your ability. Thank you all for your support.
Thank you, sir. Okay, Catherine Hunt. Could you please state your name and address for the record?
Yes, Catherine Hunt, and I'm at 121P Lowell Lane in Monroe Township. Monroe Township has also passed the resolution, and we thank you so much for your support. I'm a retired nurse. I still have my license in New Jersey, and most of the time on the other side of the needle now. And as my own old lady, I think I might get closer to a hospital stay, and it does concern me very much. During my practice, I did see the pretty much degeneration of our health system as it has been taken over by corporations in the bottom line rather than putting people's health first. So this is now a public health issue. And as you've heard, the patient ratios, that is the nurse to patient ratios, of what is so critical. If we have adequate staffing, adequate nurse patient ratios, then the morbidity and the mortality decrease. But without those safe ratios, the mortality and morbidity increase. That means more hospital-acquired infections, more injuries, more medication errors. And I don't know if you might know that nurses are the ones who intercept about 86% of the medication errors that are really caused by the doctors and pharmacy. So the more nurses, the safer we are. And I thank you so much for your support.
You're welcome. Thank you. Okay, Robert Scutro. Please state your name and address for the record.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, Robert Scrutro, 53 Tenant Road, Morganville. I want to address with the police department the parking issues in Second Ward. Okay, Knopf, Helen, and Elm. You cannot drive down Helen to Elm with another car parked blocking the view to get out into Elm Street. Never gets addressed. Okay, on Helen Street, we have many people that have 3, 4 cars they don't use parked in the street with parking permits. We have one individual that doesn't want anybody parking in front of her house, so takes her father's van, who doesn't drive anymore, her car, and blocks 3 spots while she has a 4-car driveway. Okay, it's been addressed with the traffic bureau, but nobody does it. She has her sister come every day in the afternoon and disappear for 3, 4 hours. 2-hour parking will effect, but never in effect anywhere in Helen Street, Elm, or Knopf, okay? Also, let's address the garage here. There's 2 signs, no overnight parking, only 1 vehicle per employee. You have 1 employee that has a city vehicle, 2 personal vehicles. He parks overnight and 24 hours in City Hall parking garage, okay? Never addressed by parking. But yet parking will give the undercover detective cars parking tickets because they don't have a permit and they're not marked police cars. So if people are going to be allowed to break the rules, everybody must be allowed or just remove them, okay? No exceptions. The rules are in effect, please address them, okay? It's you, all right? That's it, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, John Kazor? He's left, okay. John, Sue? Sue?
Good evening, John Shu, 219 West Shirley Avenue, Edison. I'm actually just a community member in support of the Robert Wood Johnson nurses. They were on strike for 4 months, since August 4th. And 1,700 nurses. And just to be clear, that they were striking for the safe staffing. That just needs to be repeated over and over, because the hospital is going to talk about, about pay, and that's not what they're striking for. But just, it's very important that we passed this safe staffing bill. The union is fully behind it. Other unions throughout the state are fully behind it, HPAE, AFL-CIO. It's, right now it's with Senator Vitale, he's the chair. So he's close by, but he's the chair of the Health Committee, and he is a supporter of the bill. He needs to put the bill up for a hearing so that we can discuss it in public, the importance of it, just like what Stephanie talked about today, that the public needs to hear what's going on and to fully understand. And it has to be on the record down in Trenton. And we do need a floor vote that's going to be somewhat difficult, I think, with Senate President Scutari. I know, he's going to have a lot of pushback from the hospital lobby, from those interests. But we know it's going to take public pressure, public understanding of the issue. The nurses here, they have resolved their strike. They voted to accept the agreement, and they're still here advocating for the bill, because it's not, it wasn't just about the strike for them. They are here to continue the fight because of the importance of the bill, and just for doing the right thing. That's what they were on strike for. They've been lobbying in Trenton quite a bit, and it was amazing to see the political transformation of nurses who just want to care for people, but for nurses to understand now the political process, to have an interest in that process, and to, just like Councilman Blaine said, just to be involved and to want to make change through their involvement. It's just been amazing to see that. So we will continue to advocate for this bill in Legislative District 22 and other districts throughout the state as we move forward. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, can we have a motion to close the public comment portion of the meeting, please?
Council President, I move to close the public portion of the meeting, and that's for second, please.
Second.
Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
Yes.
Rivas?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hudak?
Yes.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Any comments from members of the governing body? Does anyone wish to make a comment? Okay. Councilman Rivas?
Thank you, Madam President. I just wanted to say to Councilman Blaine, during my report, I had I didn't make the opportunity to thank you for the job that you have done here in City Council. I had the opportunity to I met you about 4 years ago, and I know that, and I have seen and I have witnessed your passion on everything you do and everything that you want to do for the neighbors and the constituents of the city, so thank you. But I also want to say that I will be remiss if I don't thank each one, as I normally do, of the staff of our city, of our employees of our city. The city keep moving forward thanks to you, and for all of you and for all the citizens. Again, I want to wish you a healthy and a prosperous holiday season. Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, Councilman Strano?
Thanks, Council President. I saved my comments for this portion of the meeting. I'd like to get the last word in if I can. I want to, bestow some kind words on our councilman from the 8th Ward, Garnett Blaine, he served with distinction, a very distinguished individual, very articulate, very professional. Thoroughly enjoyed working side by side, literally, with him, and he's a true gentleman. I truly benefited by getting to know him, and I just want to wish him good luck in all his future endeavors, and appreciate you. At the same time, I want to congratulate Michael Jackson in our fire department on his retirement, and also Charles Crane, who his dad was the 6th Ward councilman when I first got elected, and took me under his wing, and I just wanted to say best wishes to Charlie, because I remember way back when spending a lot of evenings in his home with him. And then happy birthday to Jen, and wish everyone a happy, healthy New Year, and all of the religious holidays that people celebrate. Have an enjoyable holiday, and just remember there's Festivus for the rest of us. Thank you.
Thank you. You're not going to get the last word, Councilman Javik, and we're going to give Councilman Blaine the last word tonight, okay? So Councilman Javik, go ahead.
Yeah, I also want to congratulate all our retirees and wish Councilman Garnett Blaine all the best. I'm sure we're going to see each other around.
Anybody else besides? Okay, Councilman Blaine, you're up.
Well, I really would just want to say thanks to everyone on this council and in this room. But my heart goes out to Mr. and Mrs. Rivas. I understand it's a difficult time of the year. Although we met a short period of time 4 years ago, I just want you to know my home is always open for you and your family. You come over anytime. You ring my bell day or night, man, the door is always open for you. And I want to wish Councilwoman Caldwell, who's been missing for some time now, a speedy recovery, and we look forward for her joining the council and being a part of this team again. So thank you all. It's been a pleasure, and I'll be around. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, wait, Ms. Hudak, I'm not going to forget. I'll be remiss if I didn't say that you've been a big pain in the butt, but but I'm going to miss you. God bless you.
He ain't getting the last word.
All right,
Let's
go
just be
ahead,
clear.
Christine. Go ahead.
Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
Okay. The next council meetings will be as follows. Council conference meeting prior to the council meeting, Thursday, December 28, 2023, at 6 p.m. in the council conference room. And this meeting is only if we have business that needs to be finished up for the end of the year, so that's an as-needed meeting. Council meeting Thursday, December 28th at 7 p.m. Again, that's going to be if needed. Council conference meeting prior to the organization meeting of the council, Tuesday, January 2nd, 2024, at 6 p.m. in the council conference room in City Hall. Organization meeting Tuesday, January 2nd, at 7 p.m. in the council chambers. These meetings will be held in person. Can we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
Yes.
Rivas?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine? Medina? Hudak?
Yes.
Mrs. Yurmakaitis?
Yes.